Hey, somebody's got to stock the shelves. You have? Excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You are listening to the Professional Noticer. Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. Hey, thank you for making me a part of your week. My purpose here today and with every show we do is to play the part of a best friend or a coach. I want to help you live the life of your wildest dreams by giving you access to the greatest mentors the world has to offer today. This week, the Professional Noticer is sponsored by Books for Veterans. The Veterans Administration in Washington, D.C. has asked for 10,000 Andy Andrews books. I'm personally donating as many as I can, but to reach 10,000, I need your help. What we're able to do to make that easier for you is for every $10 donation you make, a hardback book will be sent to the VA for the veterans, their families, and for the employees of the VA in DC. Now, that $10 will cover the cost of the book, the shipping, and handling. So whether you can make this a personal gift or a corporate donation, just go to andyandrews.com/veterans. And this can be added to a website purchase or done as an individual entry. And thanks very much for your support. Okay, observations and answers. So what we do here on the Professional Noticer, and today we have a treat because not only do we have a professional who is at the top of his game, we have a personal friend of mine, and so I'm gonna introduce you to the number one general manager of a Publix store in America, Publix supermarket. This is the number one guy. Please welcome Bennie Dalzell. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Andy, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
Man, I am sometimes amazed. We have friends that come into town and they'll go, "Oh, you have a Publix." I say, "No, we have the Publix because we have Bennie." And they say, "Who's Bennie?" I said, he's the guy. Yeah. I mean, how many Publix stores are there?
About 1,272. And we're in 7 states, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. We just opened up Virginia a couple of years ago. So.
Wow. Now, did you notice I wore the Publix colors?
I did, and I appreciate that for you being in dress code.
Yeah,
proper dress code.
It's a new shirt, and I thought, I'm wearing that one today. In honor of Bennie and Publix. And now, how... So it's 1,272 stores, and your store has the number one all-time day total and weekend.
Right.
I mean, that
correct.
Is...
Yeah. In Orange Beach, we're very seasonal. So from like Memorial Day to about the second week of August is when we really shine in sales for the company. Because then once school starts back, we just drop down to a regular store, and our business is only on weekends if the weather's good.
Right. Well, I'll tell you when. No, I'm going to say that for later. I'm going to say that reminiscence for later. First of all, where are you from? Where are you originally from?
I was born in Paris, Kentucky, and we lived on a farm for a while out there. Then we moved to Louisville, Kentucky. And then when I was 8, we moved to Lexington, Kentucky. So,
what did your parents do?
Dad was a farmer, and then he was a truck driver, and then he went to work for the government.
Gotcha.
Where he finally retired.
Gotcha. He went to work for the government like the rest of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, how did you get into the grocery business? And
well, it's been a long, long tour, let me tell you. But I graduated from college in '76 and went to work in a liquor store.
Right.
With my college degree in business.
And your parents are so proud.
They were. They were tickled to death. And I met a gentleman that was a sales rep for Hormel Meat Company. So he got me an interview with them. So Hormel hired me, and I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I was with Hormel for about 6 years, And then I was tired of traveling, so I got on the retail end of it with Albertsons for about 11 years. Ran a store for them for about 6 years. And then I left Albertsons and went to Bermuda. I lived in Bermuda for 3 years and managed a grocery store over there.
Seriously?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was on a year-by-year contract. I was contacted by a headhunter out of Virginia. And so I just flew over there and liked things, and they made me an offer and went back and resigned and then moved to Bermuda.
My gosh. Yeah. I mean, now that'll tell you, if anything will tell you that this guy is the best. A headhunter came after him, offered him a job in Bermuda. And I bet it's probably one of the few grocery stores you can buy short pants in.
Yeah. And there was only like 8 stores on the island. And I worked for a guy that was a barrister, which is just an attorney in England, and he owned the stores, and he had this headhunter recruit people. So there was managers over there from Walmart, from Tom Thumb, from Winn-Dixie, and of course I was from Albertsons. And so that's how they recruited, and that's how they got people to run their stores.
Gotcha.
By headhunters.
Well, when did you connect with Publix?
When I came back from Bermuda. I came back in February of 2001, and I didn't do anything for 3 or 4 months. And then I went to work for Publix in June of 01. So it's 20 years.
You know, the reason I'm curious about you ending up with Publix is because I read on the internet when I see these lists, you know, the best so-and-so state by state, and, you know, or the best chain of so-and-so in America or whatever. Mm-hmm. I always look, you know, and so I've seen several times that Publix is at number one on those lists as far as best grocery store experience, best, you know, and so to me, I mean, that just gives me a lot of pride, you know, like I had something to do with it, that, you know, that the best chain of grocery stores and the best store is managed by my friend.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's very nice. We are an associate-owned company, so we're not traded on the market. So they give us stock in the company. And we've got about probably 225,000 associates working for us now. And we have appeared on Fortune's magazine, the top 100 companies to work for, since 1998. We've been on that list since 1998.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a great company to work for.
That is awesome. So let me ask you this. Who is your worst customer? You can say Polly.
I don't know. Yeah,
you can say Polly.
Well, there's several, but Polly Andrews is very near to me, and she's not afraid to give me her opinion on merchandising or where things should be placed in the store.
She loves you. I mean, she loves you. But I just shake my head because she'll come home and go, I saw Benny. You know, I told him that I told him, you know, that they ought to put the milk in so-and-so and so-and-so. And, you know, and I asked him why they're putting the so-and-so in this such a place. And you handle that. Now, you're not her husband, so you handle it so much better than her husband would. Right? I mean, because I mean, what did she give you grief about one time? Martha White Flower.
Martha White Flower. Yeah. Martha White Flower. And then, of course, Tab. When they quit making Tab, it was all my fault, you know. Right. It was during the pandemic, and I wasn't ordering enough, and I wouldn't order it for her. And I said, Polly, I said, they're not making it. It's the pandemic. There's aluminum shortage. They're just doing away with underperforming items, and that's been around since 1920, and, you know, it's gone.
Well, I mean, you know, you just had to tell her it was gone. I had to keep her from jumping off a cliff. I mean, man, the Tab thing was a big deal.
Yeah, it was. And then I sent her something from Marty and McGee. Do you know Marty and McGee? That they're sports announcers.
Yeah.
And they've got a Saturday morning show. They were talking about it, and Tom Rinaldi, who was on ESPN and now he's since switched to another network, he did a eulogy on Tab, and so Marty and McGee put it on their website. So I sent it to Polly, and I said, Polly, it's official. Here's the eulogy. Tab is gone. Tab is dead. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then there was a time when we had a remodel, and this was a couple of years ago, and they come in and they move things around and that type of thing. And we moved the cleaning supplies from one side of the store to the other side, and she just couldn't get over that at all. I mean, every time she said, it's on aisle 9, it needs to be on aisle 17, So she was always giving me merchandising advice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, and when I asked you to be on the show, you said, what are we going to talk about? And I said, we're going to talk, you and I are going to talk just like we talk in the aisles of Publix. So we're going to talk about Polly. We're going to talk about, just what we're seeing, because you are in that top rank of people that I love to have a conversation with.
Oh, great.
You're always smiling. You're always... even with the mask on the past year, you've been happy,
Yeah.
And, the other day when I came in there and you saw me, you looked at me like, what's going on? And I went, I can't, I've got this list. And I know, because when I come in for eggs and, steaks and potato chips and milk and bread. Now, I know where that stuff is. And I showed you that list. I wish I still had that list, because the list was like, what was on that list? It was
artichokes?
Artichokes.
Yeah.
Where's the artichoke aisle, Benny?
Yeah.
It was artichokes. It was like capers, some kind of hummus.
Yeah.
Where's hummus? And it was all she was making something, and the closest thing that I knew to where it was Jell-O. I kind of knew where the Jell-O aisle was, because every Thanksgiving and Christmas I'm making that cranberry whomp stuff, out of Jell-O.
Yeah.
But good grief.
Yeah, well, you had a puzzled look on your face. That's the reason I went up and looked like you needed some assistance.
Well,
but
you helped me. You walked me around the store. Now, is there an item in the store that sells a lot that kind of surprises you?
in the produce department, limes. We sell a lot of limes. I think with the Corona and the beach and the beer and that type of things. And we put it in 3 or 4 different locations. So I'd say limes and bananas. And from the red meat section, probably ribeyes, boneless ribeyes, because everyone's here on vacation and they want that big old thick piece of red meat, bone-in or boneless. So ribeyes are up there as well.
Gotcha. That's very curious to me. You didn't sell very much Bluebell peppermint ice cream this year.
Oh, that was a disaster.
What is their deal? What is their deal?
Yeah.
First of all, that peppermint Bluebell ice cream is like crack. It's just the best. And I'm aggravated that they don't have it all year long. Mm-hmm. Because to me, that's like a summer thing. That would be the greatest summer ice cream. But for years, they'll only put it out in December. And this year, we had none.
Yeah, I tried to get some from Mobile. Mobile didn't have any. North Alabama didn't have any. So they were definitely on limited production this year. And but I was able to help you out a little bit with our Greenwise.
Yeah, with the
peppermint.
Greenwise brand. And, I did have 1 half-gallon carton of Bluebell peppermint. And do you know where I got it?
No.
Chris Comer bought it in Kansas City and shipped to me.
No way.
Yeah, 'cause he saw that smart aleck
Yeah.
message that I left to you
Yeah. Yeah.
about it, and shipped me some Bluebell.
Wow.
And
What a friend.
Holly and the boys found out about it after I'd eaten it.
Well, of course.
I said, "Look at this empty carton. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
love to have some of this?"
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh my gosh! So, where, you know, people in the store, they love you. I mean, that is.
Well, thank you.
It is very apparent that they don't just respect you or follow your orders, they love you. And it's so obvious the culture you have created in that store. And so what is your, I guess, what is your strategy for dealing with people? Because you got brand new people, you've got a turnover because you have some young people working. Mm-hmm. And so
we do have quite a bit of turnover. Like right now, we've got the Kaleo group from Kansas and Missouri that are here. They're here for June and July. I've got about 15 of those people. So
what is that? What group?
Kaleo Group? It is a Christian-based organization, and they're out of Kansas and Missouri. They're college students. They've just either finished their freshman year or their sophomore year.
Gotcha.
And so they come down here and they help us. And they come down. They bring down probably like 2,500 people. And it's for the June and July, and then they do their witnessing and their classes and stuff on the weekends, and they help us out. But we have a good training program that we try. Everyone goes through the same thing, and then of course we have an open door policy. I just try to be friendly with everybody that works for me because without them, I couldn't do this thing at all.
Right.
It's just amazing what my group can do when they all pull together. After a busy Saturday night and Sunday morning to put that store back together. So communication, I let them know my expectations, and then follow up to make sure that they're doing what I expect them to be doing. But I think the open door policy has a lot to do with it, and being friendly and calling people by their first name, knowing their name.
It is, the local people here, we generally know, don't go in on Friday afternoon, when people are coming in for the weekend or whatever, because I don't know how you guys do it. It is, but it works very smoothly. I don't, because I watch things like this, and I deal with companies, and I watch, and I don't ever see any of those people get bent out of shape. I don't ever see them get frustrated even. Now I've seen some customers get that way with them, but I've seen the opportunity for somebody to lash back, and but I don't see obvious mistakes with your crew.
Yeah. Well, I think that has a lot to do with us being an employee-owned company, because I think that makes them take a little more personal pride because they are considered an owner of the company. Anybody that works for us for a certain period of time, the company gives them stock in the company.
Right.
So it makes them an owner. So I think that has something to do with it.
Skin in the game.
Yeah, they got skin in the game. Yeah. Good way to put it.
Yeah. So what are you like? What is your routine, Benny? I mean, you have today off. The day we're recording, you happen to have the day off, but on a daily basis, what's the first thing you do when you get up? What's on your mind?
Usually I go to my phone and check my sales for the store.
Do you?
Yeah, yeah. Of course, you got email, on your phone. So I usually get up out of bed and go with my phone and look to see what my sales ended up for the day. So,
I had a guy tell me one time, this was kind of an eccentric billionaire. And he told me, he said, there's people that say you don't need to think about the money. He said, but I have found that if you don't think about the money, soon there ain't no money.
I think so. Very well put. Yeah.
I remember when you guys opened up the store, and I remember I met you very quickly, and we got to be friends very quickly. And I need to mention too, for those of you who have read Just Jones, this is Bennie from Publix in Just Jones. I mean, it's great to me when I can seamlessly put somebody in a book like that.
Yeah.
But you have a big part.
Yeah. I've had several customers come in and make that comment. So there's people in your neighborhood that are reading your books, and people in Orange Beach that are reading your books. So,
That's great.
yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, when we met, what month of the year did you guys open?
September the 8th.
I knew it was right before you would experience the snowbirds. And I remember saying, yeah, you're opening just in time for the snowbirds. You're like, what? And I said, oh, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. And I remember telling you, just wait till March when they come back and return canned goods before they leave town, return canned goods. And you were like, are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. So, I mean, you've seen it all, I bet.
Oh, yeah. We love the snowbirds, don't get me wrong. They keep us going during the off season, but they can be a little bit challenging as customers because sometimes they may feel like they're entitled to something because they've been around for a while. But we love the snowbirds, and we do what we can to satisfy them.
Yeah, well, the waiters and waitresses in the area have found that they're very smart. They're very smart because it's hard to figure a 3% tip in your head like that.
Yeah. Now, and they like to help themselves to the condiments that we put out. Those salt and pepper things
and the grapes.
Yeah. They like to make sure that they get their need on those items.
That is so hilarious to me that people we all have these stories, and obviously it's not all the snowbirds. It's just a few, but those are the ones that you notice. I mean, all the snowbirds aren't stealing grapes, but you just see the ones that's got his hand in the package, Yeah. And so, not all the snowbirds are stealing the toilet paper at Orange Beach Public Library, but enough of them do that they have put a sign every year there,
Yeah.
Please don't take the toilet paper.
Yeah, we have experienced that as well.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What is something about the grocery business that you guys experience that we don't see, that we don't even know about?
I think it would be the deliveries and the delivery schedule and the things that go on in the store after it's closed. Because this time of year, I probably have 20 or 25 people working from 10 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning, putting the store back together, unloading trucks, putting groceries on the shelves, doing the cut fruit, doing the donuts and the bread. So there's a lot of work to be done after we close.
Yeah, I would imagine, because with the days that you have, I mean, it's just like pillaging the shelves.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and you guys obviously have to keep it going during the day. I mean, when people come in and wipe out stuff, I mean, I see them putting stuff back out, and there's always a couple of guys in the produce department, always, restocking. So
Yeah.
that is amazing to me, and it's also. It's amazing to me about the grocery business, just having gone into different stores, that there is, how do I put this? There is a level of cleanliness that I don't know if you guys are known for this, but you can certainly see the difference. And so what are your standards there? Are there federal standards? I mean,
No, it's just Publix doing the right thing to keep our stores clean. We try to pride ourselves on keeping clean bathrooms. And of course, during the pandemic, we had people wiping down carts all day long. We do floor sweeps 5 or 6 times a day. So we're continually cleaning as we go. And we have someone that comes in at 2:00 that just starts cleaning. That's all they do in their shift.
really.
It's just clean, yeah.
Do you know, I read a statistic the other day that said that there's some correlation that they did with a study about the higher the education level that somebody has and the higher salary they make, the more likely they are to return buggies to the right place. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I'm always kind of embarrassed not to. I want to help you, but I'm kind of scared somebody see me and go, look at that sorry dog, just leaving that. And so,
Yeah. Well, we have a couple of customers that will bring in carts. Stan Moss. I don't know if you know Stan Moss. He's with Christian Service Center. He always makes a point to bring in 2 every time, he says.
That's awesome. Well, when I see you out there doing it, I help you.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate your help.
Now you are very involved in the community. I mean, there is almost nobody around here that doesn't know who Bennie is from Publix, and I know that you're very involved in Youth Reach, and you have been a part of that just as long as we have, and so that means a lot to you. They obviously don't get any federal funds.
No, they don't.
And then you're on the board of directors of United Way. Here.
Correct. Yeah. And I think Youth Reach, part of our mission statement as Publix is to be involved as responsible citizens in the community. And I reached out to you one time and asked you what organization should I go to that would need some help, and you told me Youth Reach.
Yeah.
So that was probably 5 or 6 years ago. And I started out with them by feeding the boys on a Tuesday night once a month. Just take them a bunch of food, and they try to give them structure, and they try them to build their character and good work ethic. And they just need people to help be there.
Yeah.
And so I take them dinner and then spend some time with them after dinner, just talking to them. And it was very rewarding. It was very rewarding for me because, I've given back to the community, and that's a great organization. Like you said, they don't get any federal funding. I think they got like 81 acres just east of Summerdale,
right,
and 3 or 4 houses out there.
And this is a place for at-risk young men.
Correct.
And I think the limit age, I think, is from 17 to 22. And they have done incredible work.
They have. They have. 3 or 4 years ago, they started a disaster relief program for themselves. And I think it started with Hurricane Harvey, if that was in Houston,
right,
maybe about 4 years ago.
Right. And
so they load up a van, they go help let people put their life back together, and they don't charge them anything for it. And then I think the last one they participated in was the one here, Hurricane Sally.
Yeah.
So they're getting involved in the community and getting back too. So
You know, a lot of people don't know this about Youth Reach. I mean, not only do they not get federal dollars and rely on, private help, but when a kid goes into that program, they don't charge that kid or that family.
that's right. Yeah.
There's nobody's having to pay that. I mean, we take care of that. And
Right.
I say we, I mean the community at large. And so I think that's just amazing to make it so open. What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do with United Way?
I'm on the board of directors with United Way, and we keep all the funds back into Baldwin County. And Baldwin County, I think, is the largest county in the state of Alabama. And so I just sit on the board, and we listen to the agencies and just help them out as much as we can. There's about 30 agencies that we participate with, and throughout Baldwin County. And also, I'd like to say we're excited about you, sir, Andy Andrews,
Yeah.
because September the 2nd of this year, you are our guest and host speaker at our kickoff luncheon, and that'll be at 11 a.m. in Daphne at the Daphne Civic Center. So
I'm excited about that.
yeah, and all of the money, that's our largest fundraiser, and we were unable to do it last year because of the pandemic.
All right.
And since the pandemic, we've had Hurricane Sally, so there is a tremendous amount of people out there that need some assistance. And,
Right.
so we're looking forward to you being there and being a great fundraiser for the community and United Way.
I'm looking forward to it because it's a great organization, but I'm also looking forward to it because I'll get to sit with you and we'll get to talk.
Yeah.
So I mean, because that's a big deal for me. If I get to do something with a friend,
Yeah. Well, we've had some good speakers, so you're following in some big footsteps.
Who have you had?
Last year we had Bruce Pearl,
Okay, yeah,
the Auburn basketball
Auburn
coach.
basketball coach.
We had.
Did he bring any books from the library? Any coloring books?
No. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
And we had Gene Stallings one time, and then we had Paul Feinbaum at one time. Yeah. So there are some big footsteps, but I think that with your experience, you're going to draw a lot of people. So we're excited to have you there.
Well, thank you. We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
We'll have a good time. So you work. This is kind of a. I got two more questions.
Okay.
One would be, if you could wave a magic wand right now and solve one issue, what would it be with the store?
One issue with the store.
Yeah, just one thing that you still thinking through. That you're thinking, if you could solve this, or
I'm going to say staffing right off the get-go. Not only Publix in Orange Beach, but a lot of restaurants, a lot of retail business. Staffing's critical because we don't have anybody. Usually this time of year, we got 180, 200 associates. I've got 122. So, we're working our people lots of hours. And sometimes that concerns me because then they may get tired, then you got an injury coming. So, but we're trying to keep them under a certain amount of hours. But I think to fix the staffing at the store would be my number one issue at this point.
Wow. I was in Lowe's the other day and saw at the checkout counter they had a sign that said, "Do you need a job? Come to customer service. We will interview you right here." I'm like, wow, And I saw a sign the other day that said, "Due to the shortage of employees, long-haired freaky people can now apply."
Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, that is funny. I know several restaurants that have closed for lunch because they can't get enough people to work, and the cooks and the kitchen help were working like 9 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock at night, so they just shut down for lunch. So there's
Yeah.
staffing's an issue not only in my store but throughout Orange Beach, I think, especially in the retail and restaurants.
Yeah, it's and I think there may be a lot of that everywhere right now.
I would think so. Yeah.
So here's the last question. Last question is you work with all ages. I mean, you lead. I mean, Chuck back in the seafood, you know, and then the really young people that work up around the registers, you know, bagging and helping people, and I marvel at your ability to get the production out of all of those demographics. Because one of the things that I deal with going, you know, working with companies is they'll tell me we can't get these people to work, or these people do this, or that kind of person. And so you seem to have, even though you're understaffed, maybe they're a little overworked, you seem to have a smooth system going. And so what is it that you say to a young person that's coming in, and maybe it's their first job? What is it that you say to make them at home and have these? Because, man, I fear that a lot of kids are not taught manners as completely as we were, I'll say. And so sometimes that shows up, but I have not seen it show up at Publix. And so what is it that you're saying? How do you start these kids who maybe they haven't had, you know, Brian Gibbons and I helped. I was like an assistant coach on a Little League team, and we decided we were going to shake hands with all these 12-year-olds. They come in. Well, it became obvious pretty quickly that these kids had never shaken hands with anybody, you know, and so they were shaking our hands before practice, after practice, before a game, after a game, and it became we were kind of shocked that very few of them were versed in that. And so how do you get people up to speed that fast?
Well, as I said earlier, we do have a good orientation. And I always make a point to go into the orientation and introduce myself to them. And I'll tell them about the open door policy. If anything that they got questions or anything, they can always come to me. And then we do another 30-day check-in with them to see how they're doing, see how they're progressing, if they're getting their schedule, if they understand the schedule, and that type of thing. So I try to put a personal interest into them to show them that I care. And then I'll talk to them about a path, a career path that a lot of people may not think is there in the grocery business. But Publix is a great company to work for, and we've got a great career path for anybody that's interested.
Wow. That's awesome. Buddy, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
For taking the time to come in and do this. I think this will probably open a lot of eyes and as to my wife's behavior. And but I think people are really going to enjoy this. And this shows a side of business that has been around for a long time, but you guys have really perfected it.
Well, good.
So
we appreciate that.
But thank you, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm Andy Andrews, the professional noticer, harnessing common sense and wisdom to plow through challenges all the way to an answer for you. And I think that'll do it for this week. Get us out of here, Matthew. So, ladies and gentlemen, and to the boys and girls who aspire to become, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of another episode of The Professional Noticer. In a world where common sense has become a superpower, I'm harnessing the tiny bit of mental energy I have for you, seeking wisdom, making observations, and endeavoring to answer tough questions in a way that will empower your family and your business. I'm Andy Andrews. Until next week, goodbye. This episode of The Professional Noticer was produced by Matt Limpert. The Noticer theme written and performed by Sugarcane Jane. Generic brands provided by Twinkle and Smoke of Beverly Hills. Additional financial consideration provided by theflavormaker.com. Are you tired of the original flavor of common everyday items? Now's the time to get a monthly subscription to theflavormaker.com. Then you'll be set to enjoy multiple flavors of the same product with a new taste treat every month. TheFlavorMaker.com will allow you to play the same game big food manufacturers have been pulling for years, and all in the comfort of your own home. A yearly subscription to TheFlavorMaker.com is only $79.95 and will build a taste library of additives for your epicureal delight. Tired of regular chewing gum? Now you can chew ranch, nacho cheese, or oregano gum. For breakfast, enjoy cookies and cream scrambled eggs, salt and vinegar biscuits, and sour cream and onion pancakes. Instead of ordinary lemon, bake yourself a Tabasco pie. Serve your favorite dinner guest a unique twist on traditional banana. Bring on the French onion and chives pudding for dessert. Of course, an appetizer of peppermint chocolate-covered shrimp would be a nice addition to the meal as well. So go online now and get your subscription to theflavormaker.com. Your palate's imagination is our only limitation.